In the heart of the ancient Norse realms, where jagged mountains kissed the sky and rivers roared through vast, untamed forests, there was a goddess whose power flowed quietly through every corner of life. Her name was Ymir, the goddess of healing. And though she did not wield a thunderous hammer like Thor or command the mysteries of magic like Odin, her presence was just as essential. Ymr's gift was in the way her hands brought comfort and her wisdom could mend what seemed beyond repair. When fierce warriors fell on blood-stained battlefields, and when plagues crept like shadows through villages, it was her name that echoed in whispered prayers, carried on the wind like a lifeline. Her fingers, delicate yet firm, worked with precision, applying herbs that seemed to breathe life back into the wounded. Every cut she stitched, every fever she soothed, was a reminder of her deep understanding of both the body and spirit. Mortals revered her not for her strength in battle, but for the quiet power in her healing touch. To them, the line between life and death was fragile, and it was Ymir who often stood at that precipice, gently pulling them back from the brink, reminding all that true strength is found in the ability to heal. Ymr's path to becoming a healer began when she was still young, chosen by the wise goddess Frigg, wife of Odin and queen of the Aesir. Frigg, known for her foresight, sensed a rare potential in Ymir, one that went far beyond the violence of the battlefield. In a world dominated by war and chaos where victory was measured by the sword, Ymr's gift was precious and unique. She possessed an innate understanding of the body's fragility, the mysteries of nature, and the delicate balance between life and death. While others sought glory in combat, Ymir found her strength in the art of healing. Under Frigg's watchful eye, Ymir delved into the ancient texts and learned the secrets of powerful herbs. She studied the rhythms of the natural world, where every plant, every root had a purpose. The crackle of leaves underfoot and the earthy scent of herbs became her companions. For years, she traveled across the 9 realms, her footsteps tracing the wisdom of the greatest healers. Through frost-bitten mountains, misty forests, and the shores of forgotten lands, she absorbed their knowledge, her hands growing ever more skilled. Each encounter, each lesson deepened her understanding, shaping her into Asgard's most revered physician, a healer who could mend even the deepest wounds, restore hope, and offer life where death lingered close. Ymir possessed a gift unlike any other. With just the lightest touch, she felt the life force pulsing within every being she healed. The soft thrum of a heartbeat, the whispering flow of blood through veins, it all spoke to her like an ancient song only she could hear. In those moments, the world around her seemed to slow, as if time itself held its breath, allowing her to focus on the fragile balance of life. Her fingers, cool and steady, would trace over wounds, sensing not just the damage on the surface, but the energy beneath, guiding her to the hidden pain. Whether it was a blade that had torn through flesh or an illness slithering silently within, Ymir saw it all with a clarity that no other healer could match. Every heartbeat, every pulse told her a story, one she was destined to rewrite. Her remedies were not just the herbs she plucked from the earth, fragrant with the scent of wildflowers and soil. They were infused with the divine energy she summoned from the very core of the cosmos, channeling the strength of nature itself. As she worked, the air around her seemed to hum with power, as if the earth and sky conspired with her to restore balance. Each cure was a dance between life and death, where Ymir, with her unmatched grace, tipped the scales back towards life. Ymir, though divine, was intimately familiar with the pain and fragility of mortal life. One harsh winter, a deadly plague spread like wildfire across Midgard, the realm of humans. The disease ravaged entire villages, leaving the land eerily quiet as the sick struggled for breath, their families consumed by fear and grief. The stench of death hung heavy in the air, and hope seemed to fade with every passing day. The cries of the suffering reached Ymir in Asgard, and her heart ached for the mortals. Determined to help, she descended from the heavens, taking the form of a human to walk among the afflicted. With gentle hands and a steady heart, Ymir moved from one dying village to the next. The cold wind bit at her skin, but she pressed on, her compassion stronger than any discomfort. She mixed potent healing salves, their earthy scent filling the small huts where the sick lay. As she comforted the dying and treated the suffering, her touch brought warmth and life back to those teetering on the edge. Her wisdom, rooted in ancient knowledge, became a beacon of hope. Not only did Ymir heal with her own hands, but she also shared her gifts. She taught mortals how to gather herbs from the forest, how to mix medicines, and how to tend to one another with care. Her selflessness saved countless lives, and soon the people began to see her not just as a healer, but as their protector. In their prayers, they whispered her name with reverence, forever grateful to the goddess who walked among them in their darkest hour. But Yr's role wasn't limited to mortals alone. In Asgard, even the mightiest gods relied on her healing touch. One fateful day, during a brutal battle between the gods and the towering giants, Tyr, the formidable god of war, fell. His injuries were severe. Deep gashes ran across his body. And the gods, though powerful, watched in fear as even their combined strength seemed unable to save him. The air in the great halls of Asgard was thick with tension, hope fading with each passing moment. Then, with calm and unshaken resolve, Ymir stepped forward. Her presence alone brought a sense of quiet determination. Kneeling beside Tyr's broken form, she began her work. For days, Ymir stayed at his bedside, her steady hands moving with precision and grace. She gathered rare herbs, their scents earthy and sweet, filling the air as she crushed them into potent balms. Softly, she chanted ancient incantations, her voice a gentle whisper of power that wove itself into the very fabric of Tyr's wounds. With each stitch, her divine energy flowed through her fingertips, knitting together his torn flesh. The room was filled with an almost sacred silence as time seemed to bend around them. Slowly, the color returned to Tyr's face, his labored breaths becoming steady. When his eyes finally fluttered open, he locked eyes with Ymir. There was no need for words. The gratitude he felt was profound, for it was not the strength of a warrior that saved him, but the unwavering care of a healer. He knew deep in his heart that his life was a testament to Yr's unmatched skill and boundless compassion. Although Ymir was revered by the gods for her unmatched healing abilities, her gifts were not without their trials. Many believed her powers were too precious to be given freely, and some sought to control her for their own selfish gain. Among them was a mortal king, a ruler consumed by ambition and greed. Hearing whispers of Yr's miraculous talents, he devised a plan to capture her, hoping to keep her as his personal healer, bound to his will. But Ymir, with her keen wisdom and gentle heart, sensed the king's intentions long before he could act. Rather than meet his force with violence, she turned to her vast knowledge of herbs and magic. In her hands, she crafted a potion, shimmering with the essence of nature itself. When the king drank it, expecting to harness her powers, something miraculous happened. The dark cloud of greed that had weighed on his soul lifted, replaced by a deep sense of humility and remorse. The transformation was profound. The king, once driven by selfish desires, now felt the weight of his own misdeeds. In his heart bloomed compassion, and with tears in his eyes, he released Ymir, forever changed by the gentle hand of the healer. From that day forward, he dedicated his reign to serving his people, bringing kindness and justice to his kingdom, just as Ymir had shown him the true path of healing. Yr's influence stretched far beyond the lives she saved. It touched the very fabric of the world. In the quiet moments after battle, or in the stillness of Asgard's healing halls, Ymir passed on her wisdom to those willing to learn. She trained a new generation of healers, her hands guiding theirs with gentle precision. But she didn't just teach the art of stitching wounds or crafting potions. She taught the deeper truths. Compassion, patience, and the sacredness of every life became the heart of her lessons. Her students, filled with her teachings, went on to become healers in their own right, tending to the wounded and the sick in realms as far as Midgard and beyond. As they carried Yr's legacy forward, her presence was felt in every village healed from plague and every warrior saved from the brink of death. Each act of healing echoed her wisdom. The bond between mentor and student, between life and the healer's hands, stretched across time. It was said that as long as one of Yr's students walked the earth, her legacy would live on, a gentle yet unshakable force, as eternal as the stars. Yr's story is not one of battles fought with swords or shields, but of battles fought with compassion and care, where life hangs in the balance and victory is measured in heartbeats. While others sought glory on the battlefield, Ymir wielded the quiet strength of healing. her hands bringing life where death lingered. In the halls of Asgard and the villages of Midgard, her presence was a beacon of hope, reminding gods and mortals alike that while warriors may win wars, it is the healers who ensure that life goes on. Her touch was gentle, but it carried the weight of the cosmos. With each herb she mixed, every wound she tended, Yer reaffirmed the value of every life, no matter how small or fragile. Her wisdom transcended mere medicine. It was a reflection of the divine balance, the delicate dance between life and death. Those who knew her felt the warmth of her spirit, like the sun breaking through after a long winter. Even now, her legacy whispers through time in every act of kindness, in the work of every healer who carries her teachings into the world. Yr's legacy is etched not in stone or legend, but in the beating hearts of those she touched. A quiet reminder that true strength lies not in destruction, but in the power to heal, nurture, and give life.